unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Kell Brook, who fought both Terence "Bud" Crawford and Errol Spence, finally breaks it down and lets the boxing world know who is the biggest puncher between the two of them. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. The gang's all here. Make sure you guys come in and subscribe. Now, Kell Brook had an interview that was posted on Fight Hype, and he said, I'd say Errol Spence is the bigger puncher. Now, Kell Brook should know because he faced both people, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. He believes Errol Spence is the bigger puncher of the two. Now, boxing fans, many of them, can be very fanatical, very radical, and almost borderline insane with the fanboyism and the biases and things like that. I said that to say this. When a fighter who has direct experience with both of the named individuals, meaning they have been in the ring with both fighters, I'm going to take what they have to say well before an armchair critic or somebody who's just watching the fight as a fan, because they have firsthand experience. Like, imagine me, I've never studied to be a firefighter. I've never taken the training. I've never had to go into a building that was a 4-alarm fire, scorching with smoke and soot and things of that nature. So imagine listening to me, Ego, over an actual firefighter who that's what they do day in and day out, time and time again. They've saved children and cats and families and put out blazing flames. And imagine me trying to explain how, it's really not that hot, but I've never experienced that. It becomes harder. So I know the Bud buddies, they're not going to like Kell Brook saying this. And some will say, oh, but Kell Brook, you got knocked out sooner by Terence Crawford. And I'm glad that they're going to say that, because none of that stuff matters, because everything in boxing requires context, which is what I always preach on my channel. Y'all reach, I preach. You need context. And the reality is Kell Brook hadn't made welterweight in 3 years. And I think it's ironic because Terence Crawford had this insane triangle theory that he recently said to Gillian Wallow on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. And he's basically saying and suggesting, hey, the proof is in the pudding. Look at how I fought these mutual opponents that Errol Spence fought, and look how he fought them, and look at the outcomes, right? He didn't stop Sean Porter, and I stopped Sean Porter. I stopped Kell Brook sooner. So those things are true. Errol Spence did not, in fact, stop Sean Porter, and Terence Crawford did. Kell Brook was stopped sooner than when Errol Spence stopped him. But it's really, to me, I feel like it's egregiously wrong for you to purposefully withhold information and knowledge that you have to try to make a point. Notice on my channel, I don't have to lie in order to make a point. I don't have to exaggerate. I don't have to embellish. I don't have to withhold pertinent facts that would provide context in order to make a point. So to look at Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford, you got to look at when did that fight happen? In 2020, the year the pandemic was widespread and known about in America. They fought in a bubble. Kell Brook fired his longtime trainer, or not fired, but wasn't using him because his own trainer said that he's not training Kell Brook because they don't have enough time to prepare for Terence Crawford. And out of love for the fighter, he says he's not going to be a part of that. So actually, he didn't fire him. Kell Brook's longtime trainer, Dominique Ingle, he actually gracefully bowed out and said he's not taking part in that fight. So that goes to show you the version of Kell Brook that Terence Crawford received. He also hired an Instagram trainer, some guy he watched some videos on Instagram. And his longtime promoter, Eddie Hearn, wasn't involved in the making of this fight either. So as you can see, Kell Brook was at a completely different spot when he fought Terence Crawford versus when he fought Errol Spence Jr. When Errol Spence fought him, he fought in the luxury of his own backyard. So basically, realistically, I'm gonna fight with Errol, and then hopefully I'm gonna get Amir Khan, right? He fought in Sheffield, UK. Errol Spence went to his backyard and stomped him when he was undefeated at welterweight, versus again fighting in the Las Vegas bubble when he hadn't made welterweight in 3 years and looked mid and / bad in one of those fights with Michael Zarafa, and the UK commentators were telling him to retire. I mean, these are facts that need to be discerned. So now Kell Brook coming out and saying that Errol Spence hits harder is definitely intriguing. Now, that's not to sleep on Terence Crawford. He definitely has power. Terence Crawford could hurt, could stop Errol Spence as well. You know, it's about the shots you don't see coming and different variables. But I do agree. I think Errol Spence, from what I've seen, Errol Spence does hit harder. He's a guy that just wears you down. Like, for example, Errol Spence punishes guys so bad, he leaves them disfigured, where at the end of the fight, they look like the Elephant Man. They look like Rocky Dennis. That's something different. Like, I don't really recall Terence Crawford. He's a sharp puncher, and I don't really recall him like mopping up and disfiguring somebody's face so they look like Two-Face at the end of the bout. But Errol Spence, that's definitely his bag. So I agree with Kell Brook. Let me know what you guys think. I know the Bud Buddies, they're going to get mad because Kell Brook said this and say a bunch of triangle theories. Just like I remember Shane Mosley, he put out an interview long time ago, years ago, and he said that Canelo hits just about as hard as Floyd Mayweather. Like, the punching power was pretty comparable. And the Canelo man fans, the Cinnabons, boy, let me tell you, they lost it because they couldn't take their idol and their savior, Canelo. I was born ready. They couldn't take hearing Shane Mosley, who fought both of them, mind you, just like Kell Brook fought both Crawford and Spence. They couldn't take Shane Mosley saying that Floyd Mayweather, who they call pillow-fisted, a lot of the racist and Canelo fans and stuff call Floyd Mayweather pillow-fisted, so they couldn't stomach to hear Shane Mosley said their punching power was very comparable. But again, I'm going with the guy that faced both of them. And just from the eye test. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with this. Not saying that Terence Crawford can't win. I know people get bent out of shape when I speak the real on my channel, but don't watch me. But it's kind of to be expected. Errol Spence is naturally the bigger guy. Terence Crawford moved up, and this is what he brags about, moving up and being undisputed, moving up through the ranks, moving up multiple weight classes, where Errol Spence stayed in one class. So for a welterweight who's big, like Kell Brook, to say another welterweight who's big, Errol Spence, hits harder, it's not really surprising because he's the guy that has been fighting in this weight class pretty much his whole pro career, versus Crawford, a guy who moved up. And like, if you look at Crawford when he first moved up to welterweight, he kind of had to acclimate. His frame right now looks welterweight, but that's years deep into his welterweight career. But when you watch I was at the Jeff Horn fight. If you look at the Jeff Horn fight, his body looked closer to what it did at 140, where he just looked kind of lanky and a bit skinnier. But as he's aged, metabolism slows down and things like that. And as he's matured and he got with the snack program and different things like that, he's been able to comfortably put on some size where he looks more filled out. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of Kell Brook. He says that Errol Spence definitely hits harder. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm the best in the business, and I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.